1967, work began on one of Vermont's most beautiful and unique buildings. For 7.5 years, laborers from Europe constructed this million-dollar castle for two people who were known only as Dr. and Lady Johnson. The three turrets and one parapet make the castle a beautiful yet imposing structure in the Vermont countryside. Most of the building materials were imported, including the brick for the exterior. Only a few items were manufactured by local craftsmen, such as the marble and slate flooring that was quarried in Vermont. As beautiful as its Flemish style is on the outside, it's the inside that captures the visitor. The 32 rooms, 13 fireplaces, and 84 stained and etched glass windows recreate the beauty of Old England. Unfortunately, the Johnsons didn't remain long. Within a few years, it was sold, and what happened to the couple is still a mystery. By 1939, it had been sold 4 or 5 times until an Army radio engineer by the name of Colonel Herbert Lee Wilson purchased the building as his summer home. The story of Wilson Castle had begun. In 1962, the now retired Mr. Wilson opened the castle for tours. Although considered a tourist attraction, Mr. Wilson and his family continued to live in the castle. Unlike many similar attractions, people visiting the building were allowed to walk right into the many rooms instead of viewing them from behind ropes or barricades. His daughter Blossom took over operation of the castle in 1981 after the death of her father, and this open room policy is still in place. Upon entering the castle, many visitors noticed the fireplace made of Italian blue tile with the Latin tempus fugit, which when translated means time flies. Many such designs are repeated throughout the castle in the ceiling stencils, wood carving, and windows. First on the tour is the library. The table and chairs are originals to the castle and are more than 150 years old. Only the red leather seats are new, having been replaced near 50 years ago. The Tiffany chandelier was originally lit by gas, but was updated to electricity by the Colonel. The windows depicting the Lamp of Learning, William Shakespeare, and the industrious beehive are typical of the kind of detail that the original owners put into the home, combining both thought and humor. The bookcases contain many articles that Herbert Wilson collected in his worldwide travels, and includes ashtrays, hood ornaments from his days in Detroit, and a hand-carved ivory chess set from Arabia. The woodwork in the drawing room is antique ivory with 22-karat gold leaf. The hand-woven Chinese rug, made by a family of 13, is silk and wool and displays the pattern of a morning glory. Many items in this room are very old, dating back several centuries, like this peacock blue urn from France that was produced in the 19th century. The Chinese scroll, the oldest item in the room, is more than 1,000 years old. Most people immediately notice the Louis XVI crown jewel case. The globes on top are blown glass and hand-painted to represent the heavens. Trimmed with mercury gold and cut crystal, it houses several items that the Colonel collected, such as the Burmese silver tea set that was once a gift to Queen Mary when she visited India. It's believed that this chair was given to the Colonel by Pope Pius XII in lieu of payment for work he did on the Vatican's radio transmitters. Thus, it's called the Pope's chair. Also of note is this Chinese ceremonial chair made from teak and dating back to the Ming Dynasty. On the back is a little Chinese monk holding a scroll that says, "For $1 invested, you will get 10,000 in return." Above the fireplace are 3 beautiful painted windows. The left window is thought, the right window is music. Framed by 52 matching Australian opals, The distinctive center window depicts the River Thames. A precursor to today's compact disc players is this Swiss-manufactured music box. Based on the principles of the player piano, the zinc and tin discs were a prized possession of the Colonel. To improve its tonal quality, the music room was built as an octagon. The ceiling and walls are hand-painted and stenciled, while the wood paneling is red cherry, imported from France. Colonel Wilson was an organist, and the music room holds one of the 3 organs in the castle. What's a castle without its own art gallery? Included in the castle is an art gallery where you'll find the Fountain of Youth that was cast in France in the 1850s. It used to stand in front of the castle, but was so badly deteriorated that the Colonel had it restored and brought inside to prevent further damage. The Rape of the Sabines is a replica of the original and is made from green Vermont marble. This wood sculpture of a Burmese dancer was carved more than 400 years ago with stone and wood chisels. The knot in the back of her hair indicates that she's single. Even the gallery walls feature interesting artwork. What appears to be carved molding along the top of the wall is actually a 3-dimensional painting, known as trompe l'oeil or fool the eye. Only the lower 6 inches of the molding are real. There are many other examples of this technique elsewhere throughout the castle. Outside, the veranda offers commanding views of the central Vermont countryside. Across the road are 4 of the 14 original buildings of the estate that were once stables and carriage houses. The largest one is now a radio station and was originally built by the Colonel. The ceiling design of the veranda is held together by wooden pegs. The only metal is the bolts that hold it to the frame of the castle. The basket weave design of the floor is made from Vermont marble quarried in Proctor and red slate quarried in nearby Fairhaven. These are about the only locally produced materials in the entire building. Of course, everyone is curious about the swing. Called an English leveling swing, it was designed to stay level so that a lady's ankle would not show. The dining room is paneled in quarter-sawn golden oak. The ceiling is actually molded plaster and hand-painted with a metal paint. A fine example of the kind of detail that went into the castle is the fireplace. If you take your finger and place it inside the lion's mouth, you can actually feel the bumps and contours of the roof of the mouth. The original furniture is also Italian oak, and the seats and backs are Venetian needlepoint. It took 2.5 years for a group of Italian women to make the beautiful tablecloth. Called cutwork embroidery, the cloth is first embroidered, then cut by hand in between the embroidery. The English hallmark silver came from Mrs. Wilson's family, and the curio cabinet is filled with the Wilsons' elegant quartz stemware. Colonel Wilson imported a great deal of quartz from Brazil for his radio sets, and had the leftover material sent to West Virginia, where it was hand-carved and polished. The cathedral chimes were a gift to the Wilsons from Monsignor Hickey of Detroit. The Colonel had lived for many years. Suspended from rubies, they can be heard throughout the house. Of course, the windows deserve special attention, too. The center one is Chinese in style and is called Food for the Famished Affection. The Maltese butterflies symbolize good life and health, while the other 4 windows are indicative of the 4 courses of a meal: fish, fruit, grapes for wine, and English plum pudding. When the castle was built, artisans lacked many of the modern tools and conveniences that we take for granted. That's why the workmanship in the grand reception hall is of particular note. Paneled in Hunter and mahogany that was hand-carved on-site, it was all sanded to a smooth, glass-like finish using pumice and tung oil applied with shark skin. That's because sandpaper was not yet invented. Technically, a castle is not a castle without a castle window. Here at the end of this hall is a beautiful painted and etched glass window displaying the coat of arms of Lady Johnson. It's purposely placed on the north side of the castle so that, like the English Empire, the sun never sets on it. At the top of the stairway, below another one of the colonel's organs, is the rosary window. It's more than 200 years old and was originally part of a French cathedral. It weighs more than a half-ton. The clear circles at the top of the window are actually prisms, and in the late afternoon, the sun treats the castle to a rainbow of light. At the top of the stairs is the pool table that was in the castle when the colonel bought it. The playing surface is slate and has hand-tooled leather pockets. The ceiling is another example of illusionary painting. While it looks like it's three-dimensional, it was actually painted by the castle's master ceiling painter, Chapini, over a 4-year period. Look carefully, and you'll see how he painted shadows progressively to aid in the illusion. At the far end of the hall is the entrance to what was once the castle library. Again, humor is incorporated into the design, with the learned owl standing guard over the doorway. All of the bedrooms are typical of a noble castle. In the master bedroom, all of the furniture is original to the building and is made from oak. The woodwork is called curlicue maple and is very rare. It's also difficult to carve because it splinters so easily, yet the workmanship remains exceptional. Although Mrs. Wilson's room may at first appear to be rather plain, it looks out over the mountains of Vermont and affords a commanding view of beautiful sunsets throughout the year. A large walk-in closet and original bed and dresser are some of the features of the bridal suite. Considered by some to be the prettiest bedroom in the castle, it's paneled with Jamaican mahogany and features 2 turrets and a sitting area. Notice too how the glass in the turrets is not flat, but curved. The bridal suite also includes a bathroom with its own large bathtub. Running water was built into the castle when it was constructed. Originally, water was stored in a room on the floor above in order to provide the proper water pressure. The only bedroom in the main part of the castle that is still in use is the guest room. The gold and oak woodwork was painted white before the Wilsons purchased the castle. However, the mantel was stripped about 15 years ago, revealing the beauty of the natural wood underneath. Wilson Castle is one of Vermont's greatest treasures. Architecturally unique and blessed with many of the original pieces of furniture, it is certainly one of the most memorable sights in the state of Vermont.